Okay, recording has started. Hello, Vishnu. How are you? Okay, so now we will start uh, on the this particular chapter. Okay, hang on. Oh no, we are not using the correct chapter. Just wait a while. Okay, um, just wait a while. I'm sorry. Little bit confusion here. Right. Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. So now we are going at the Master of Business Administration and Hospitality Management. Subject name is Strategic Management, code MTT 505, right? And here you can see for this particular strategic management, we got 9 topics. Okay, so we're going to look at this first one here. By the way, this one is inside the film is given to you, so you can look at it anytime, okay, in the Moodle, right? So we look at topic one. So topic one is the nature of strategic management, and this is the course learning outcome. So at the end of this session, course learning outcome number one, you should be able to assess the nature of strategic management in its alignment with the business mission. Course learning number two is design strategies informed by external and internal assessment to achieve the organization goals. And of course, number three, choose strategy based on comprehensive selection process, initial evaluation when actual outcome do not conform to plan objective, and your CLO4 achieve the importance of going global. Mm. Okay, and of course you can look at this video. Just click here the time. Okay, it's a self-introduction of myself, right? So we'll go straight into topic one, the nature of strategic management, and here we're gonna have about 6 subtopics. Okay, so we go to the first one. Uh, The first one is what is strategic management? Okay, so I want to introduce you to two brothers. Okay, and they are very good strategic management American writers, very famous people, TV and TV. They are publishing strategic management, the book under Pearson, 2022 edition. So it's quite a new edition. So according to them, is the process where leaders, organization plan and implement action to help the organization achieve long-term goals. Now, what is the long-term goals of an organization? Well, there can be many, but basically the important ones are, for example, they can survive and thrive over the long term. Okay, long term is I'm not talking about 6 months, I'm talking about maybe many, many years. We have companies like, for example, Nestle, more than 100 years, right? And of course, we have companies that is created and then suddenly went missing or bankrupt. It's because maybe their strategic management is not very good. Okay, now, like I say, the primary or the first objective of any organization is to make a profit. A business organization, first priority is to make profit. And strategy management is the way for them to achieve profit, okay, over a long term period. Okay, so what does this involve? So basically, strategy management will look at the internal and external environment of a company. What is internal? Internal means looking at the company, for example, internally, maybe there are processes with employees, skills, financial nature, and so forth. Okay, whatever that is uh, internal to the company. At the same time, we also look at the external environment. What is the external environment? For example, it's the government, the politics, economics, social or technology changes. We call this kind of things the external. So we need to look at the internal and external environment, and then we will look at our mission and vision. So we need to change our mission statement or vision statement, and then um, based on the resources that we have or resources that we can get in the future, right? We will plan our strategies accordingly. What do you mean by resources? So resources like, for example, can be time. It's a very important resource. manpower skills, technological skills, and financial capability, okay, and so forth. So these are the resources. So what the company does is actually, or should do, is actually look at the internal and external environment, and then need to see whether need to be adjusting the mission and the mission, and then set the objectives. Now, we may have 20 objectives or 30 objectives, but we have limited resources. Therefore, you need to prune down to those, for example, 20 objectives to maybe 2 or 3 important objectives. Well, once that important objective has been identified, so we can allocate resources to there, and also we can ask our employees to work towards these 2 or 3 important objectives. Okay, now, which one you think is important? Because out of 20, which one you select? You will select those objectives that ensure long-term survivability of your company. Those objectives that can contribute to your profit first. Now, at this junction, I would say it's not compulsory that a company must have HR department, accounting department, production department. All this you can support out. Okay, so the objective is not to have the various department to make your goals achievable. The objective is to make strategies that ensure that your company can survive in the future, whether it's in-house department or outside departments or subcon out departments. Okay, so you need to understand that one first. Okay, so by aligning your resources that you have or able to get in the future, and then with the objective, align this strategy resources with your objective, and then hopefully you can implement them very well, and then hopefully you can find good end results in implementing your strategy. So we need to evaluate the strategy that you make, and if there's need to be changes, because on and off there's a lot of changes, whether it's political, economic, social, or technology, or there may be changes within your internal environment. So you may have to revise your strategies. Now it's important to evaluate strategy because it can be a springboard for you to have better strategy in the future. Let's say you evaluate right now your current strategy, and your current strategy evaluation is a country which is not working so well. Maybe you make the wrong strategy, so you learn on how to not make the wrong strategy to improve by making better strategies in the future. So the evaluation of strategy is quite an important process. Okay? So I'd like you to look at a video. Okay, so you can always click here and then open link it, right? And then we can look at the video. Or yeah, we can proceed. Oh, you cannot. Oh, well, okay, never mind. Oh, never mind. Okay. Anyway, you can look at the video by yourself, right? And I have got a transcribe here. So if you just go to the transcribe, okay. This is explained in the video. The transcribe will say it's important for all business, no matter the size. So you do not just say that strategy management is done only by the big company, right? You can have small company. Okay? In fact, all companies should do strategic management. Yeah, so let me give you an example why. Now, if you visualize that you are driving, okay, from where you are now, from A, you want to go to B, another location somewhere else. So you're driving. So strategic management is something like the steering wheel. Okay, it can steer you to the correct place. Now, what happens if you don't have a steering wheel? If your car don't have a steering wheel, how will you go from A to B? Maybe your car will landed in the accident, or the car will landed into the drain, and then you have a lot of problems. So the steering wheel is important because it steer your business from current situation to maybe a better profitable situation in the future, okay, or better market share in the future, or better sales growth in the future. So the steering wheel is important. Without the steering wheel, you cannot go from location A to location B. Strategy management is that steering wheel. of your car. Okay, so it doesn't matter your size. Now let's think about it. Are we talking only about business? What about non-business? Let's say, for example, uh, Red Cross, or St. John Ambulance. Those are non-profitable organizations. Do they need strategic management? Yes, because for business, the main objective is to make profit. What about non-profit organization? Non-profit organization, maybe the main objective is to serve based on their mission. So to make sure they serve, you need strategic management. What about governments? Do government need strategic management? Yes, because the government also got plans of what they want to do. Like for example, in Malaysia, we used to have a 5 years plan, the first 5 years plan, second 5 year plan, development plan. Okay, so therefore there's a need for strategy to make sure that they can achieve what they plan. Okay, so using and organizing resource to achieve the organization goals. Now here must be important. How do you know the goals is correct goals? Right? So I think in chapter 2, we will talk a bit more detail. Well, strategic management helps you to identify what should be your correct goals. Chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, I think, will be more detailed. But right now, what we need to say is that we need to ensure that the goals are reasonable, are achievable. Okay, the goal should be achievable, reasonable, within the resources that you have or you can get. It's no point once you all wake up in the morning and say, okay, our goal is to increase sales by 10%. Look at your internal, external environment. Can you do it? If you cannot do it, it's just a plan with no possibility of achieving. That will demoralize your staff and make your company go left and right, and then it will be a big problem. Okay, so when we talk about achieving goals, those should be achievable. It should be reasonable. Like for example, is it reasonable if you have a business goal? If let's say you are making cars right now, is it reasonable that your goal will be, let's make a flying car? Is the technology available? Will the government allow you to have flying cars? So if those are not available, the technology and the government will not allow you to do so. Having that kind of goals is no gain. So your goals must be reasonable and achievable. So strategic management is essential for success in business. Can you see the word essential? It's like it's like a steering wheel in your car. It's important. Okay. It involves setting goals, planning how to do it, organizing your resources so that you can do it. You take advantage of opportunities. Now, of course, you can find your own opportunities, but many companies do not have pure research. Okay. Sometimes they strike upon an idea out of the blue, or sometimes they just see what the competitor is doing, they follow, or sometimes they see what the customer wants, they do. But anyway, once you can see the opportunity, you try to take advantage of it by setting your goals correctly, getting the resources on time and relevant resources. Then you organize these resources to achieve your goals, to take advantage of opportunities. Now, what happens if you don't take advantage of opportunity? You'll be doing the same business again and again. Okay, so there's very real risk of you being ineffective if you're still doing the same business all the time, using the same products all the time. Okay, so here I would like to have a self-check. Evaluate the efficacy of organization strategic management process. And the word here is strategic management process. The process, how does your company does the process, does strategic management. So how do you know the company is doing it correctly? So here is self-check one. I'm going to go at the bottom. And you see the answer for self-check one. How do you measure the organization process? Goal achievement. So does the company have KPIs? Normally KPI got some numbers. Okay, that would be a good KPI. For example, you may have okay, we want to achieve market share 10% this year, next year 20%, and next year 50%, something like that. There is supposed to be a goal. It's like going from location A to location B. What's your goal? To go to reach location B. Okay, next. Can your organization goals or the organization by itself, their adaptability? What does that mean? That means can the strategies, can the organization change its strategies or adjust its strategy? Why? Maybe because actual is not up to the standard of the plan or the budget, or because the situation has changed so much. For example, politics, economy, social technology, laws, okay, or new competitor has come up. So you need to be able to adjust. So if the organization can adjust its strategy very fast, that will be better. Now, we think it's so easy to make the organization do such adjustment. It's not. Most organizations are very large and they move very slowly. Okay, large organizations, we know that. So it's not that easy. So we will see how your organization, how fast your organization to adjust its strategies when there's a need to do so. That's another KPI. The third one is the strategies that a company come up. Does it give back to the stakeholders? The stakeholders can be internal or external stakeholders. The external stakeholders, like for example, the government, the customers, suppliers, right? The internal stakeholder is your own employees, okay, the management team. So, do your strategy involve giving back to these stakeholders? But then the question is, do we need to give back? Yes. For example, if you do not give back enough for dividend or your earnings per share is no good, your share price go down. So if your share price go down, maybe they cannot find you investor. Okay. So if your company strategy do not make a profit, how are you going to pay your wages or pay bonus or do promotion for your staff? So that's why I say your strategy, does it align back to the needs of the various stakeholders? So that's how you evaluate efficacy, okay, of the strategic management process of any organization. Okay. Now the second part is for this topic is check 1.1. I want you to assess the effectiveness of organization strategy. Look at your organization, the one you're working with or one that you worked in the past, or if you are not working, look at any organization that you're familiar with or you like to know more about. See whether their organization strategy management process is effective. Now, what do you see? Now, in many companies got annual report. So you go back to, let's say, the last 3 years annual reports, you see what is written down there by for example, the chairman of the board or the CEO. What they write down there, what did they intend to do 2 years ago? And then look at the current situation. Did they achieve or was the strategy radically changed? That will tell you. Okay? For example, if strategies they created or want to do 3 years ago, if it's come to fruition, becomes life, and they are achieving their goals, therefore, their strategic management process is very good. But if you look at another company, they say 3 years ago they want to do ABC, and now 3 years later or 5 years later, they still have not do anything or cannot achieve their ABC goals, their process is good. Simple as that. You don't need to write anything, just I want you to just think about the organization of your choice. So now we go to the second one. Can we say what is the strategic management? Now we need to look logically, is there any benefit? If there's no benefit, what we do? Okay. Basically, the whole process of strategic management will give you the following benefits as seen from this infographic. Okay. So the benefits under infographic are improve performance of the company. The company can make better decisions. It's like a steering wheel. You can make a decision, adjust a little bit, adjust a little bit, left or right because of the road conditions, or maybe there's a pothole in the road, right? Or you have greater adaptability because your strategy will have considered the forecast, what is going to happen, anticipate challenges, for example, from your competitor, and effective use of resources because your resources, like I say, is always limited. There's no such thing as unlimited resources. We cannot employ everybody in the world. You do not have all the technology of the world. That's why your resources is limited. So you must efficiently use whatever limited resources that you have. Okay. Then last one is to manage risk. So there are many types of risk. Okay. For example, you may have a customer or market risk. Okay, political risk. So all these economic risk, technology changes risk, so all these kind of risk, it will be better for you to manage risk if you are using a good strategic management process. Okay. So you can look at the video. Benefit of strategic management switching is just copy that you can see. So in the meantime, what I propose is that I really do a transcribe. Okay? So the video explains the importance of strategic management of a business. They discuss the benefits of social strategic management and the key components of strategic management. So in the summary, strategic management is important for all business. Don't care the size. Strategic management helps business to achieve an appropriate match between the environment, strategy, structure, and process. Now we use the word match because we are matching. They are all different things here. Okay, the environment is changing, your strategy is changing, your organization structure is changing, your process will be changing. So at any one time, you try to match them so that you can be more efficient. It leads to better performance, long-term success. And you have a clearer sense of vision of what you want to do. Once you make a strategy and the strategy is well known to other people, so everybody can look at your vision, can work towards your vision. Then you focus on what is important. If you are focusing on things that's unimportant, then your priority is wrong. Your resources will be wasted. Okay? And improve understanding of a changing environment. Now, environment keep on changing. There's no such thing as a static environment. The only permanent thing in this world is there will be change. Okay? So having said that, now we're going to go to the self-check number 1 and 2. How you evaluate the significance of strategic management in enhancing organization performance. How do you evaluate it? Okay, so now you will go into 1 and 2. Evaluate the significance of strategic management in enhancing organization performance. Strategic management gives a clear direction. What needs to be done? Now, in many companies, the direction is with numbers. Sales increase 2%. Numbers. Okay. Why? Because it will be clear. But if you have a goal like let's increase our sales, that is very unclear. Because somebody will say, oh, improve 1% also improve. The other fellow will say improve 10% also improve. So there's very wide range. So when you're making a big strategy, you should be very clear. Okay. Best is to express it in terms of percentage. Okay. Sales increase 1%. Very clear. Sales increase 1%. Very clear. Sales increase, no percentage, not so clear. Improve decision making. When you're analyzing your internal and external, looking at past data, okay, all this information, it improves what decision you're going to make. Now, why is it important? Because good decision making have a favorable impact in the long run. Poor decision making, okay, unfortunately, leads to poor performance. Now, when we're talking about data, we need to analyze data. Data means raw data. It has not been made into information yet. Information means it's meaningful data. Okay, so when you're talking about analyzing data and using data as a base to make information, the information or the data must satisfy a few requirements. First one, it must be accurate information. Second, it must be relevant. This information that you have must be relevant. You are not going to have information that's irrelevant. You don't use irrelevant information. I say, for example, you may have, if you're talking about marketing soft drinks, information about how the Roman Empire started, how the Roman Empire fall, that is irrelevant, right? But if your information about how is a competitor doing in terms of market share or in terms of products or mineral water, that is relevant. So you have to be first, okay, um, relevant information, accurate information, and the information must be on time. Timely information. You cannot base your decision on information that is come out 5 years ago. Okay? The latest information must be given or must be able to get. The information must be up-to-date information. It has to be accurate information. It is relevant information for you to make decisions. That is called information. Good information. So with good information, you can make decisions. Now let's compare it. Information is not accurate versus information that's very accurate. And you're going to make decisions. Most likely, bad information makes you do bad decision making. And good information helps you to make good decision making. Simple as that. Okay, so just remember, okay, accurate, relevant, reliable, on time. These are maybe some of the things that you need to consider when you're looking at information for you to make decisions. The last one is competitive advantage. The strategy management process look at your strengths and weaknesses. These are normally the internal environment. They also allow you to look at, they not only allow it, they actually wants you, they force you to look at your internal environment. Okay? So that you can increase your strength and reduce your weaknesses. Okay? What does that mean? Let's say if you look at your internally and you say, oh, my people are very good in electrical knowledge, but not so good in mechanical. So my people are good in electrical, but not so good as in mechanical engineering. So now I want to do laboratory. So I make a product that is maybe quite high tech in electrical. So chances are I will have a good success. But if I make a product that is very relying on mechanical engineering, and I don't have good people, most likely my product must be. That's what it means by leveraging your strength. And sometimes you may have a weakness. So there's no such thing as no weakness in a company. So you try to improve on your weakness. So vision comes first. Improve, take advantage of your strength first, or try to reduce your weakness first. In many cases, it's always using the skills that you have, the strength that you have, use that one first. Because that's the one you're going to capture your market more. Reducing weakness is actually secondary. First, take advantage of the good points. Then you still got enough time or resources, address your weak. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you're very good at running and you're no good in high jumping. You want to improve your high jumping to get medals? Or is it better to easier to get medals in running? Because you're good in running. Carry on running first. Talk about high jumping later. Okay? That's what it means. Okay? So you can get a competitive edge in the market. So we have finished that one. That's 1.2. We are now looking at 1.3. Now 1.3 is 1.1 is introduction. 1.2 is benefits. 1.3 is the framework to do it so you can achieve the benefits. Now the framework can be looked at under a model. Okay, so we look at a model. How does strategy management works? Now we have three phases here. One is strategy formulation, making the strategy. Second is strategy implementation in the market. Third one is you evaluate the strategy. Okay, now the first phase will start with looking at your mission and vision statement. Now, mission is actually what the company is doing. What is it all about? Vision is what the company wants to achieve in the near future. Okay, so what is mission and what is vision? And then we look at external and internal environment. So I'll give you an example right now. Let's say, for example, Nestle. Now, Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is making classic Coca-Cola, vanilla Coca-Cola, and diet Coca-Cola. Now they want to introduce a new product. Maybe, for example, mango Coca-Cola. So they are not going to look at their mission and vision so clearly first. They will look at these two first. Can we make mango Coca-Cola? Do the external people want to buy it? Do the internal ourselves, we have technology to make up? Now, if these two is okay, then we will change our mission. So our mission last time maybe to make Coca-Cola. Now add in one more line to make mango Coca-Cola also. Okay, so therefore, for this kind of situation, existing company they'll do the external, internal, then they do the mission and vision. But let's look at not an established company, a new startup company, an entrepreneur. Okay, an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur will be a little bit different. Okay, they will now look external and internal, then only make the vision. Okay, so the mission will become after the external and internal. Then they will establish the long-term objective. So after these three, there comes maybe got 20 objectives that you can do. Limited resources, you chop, and then you choose the 2 or 3 next strategy. Then you implement this strategy. This here to here is the actual hard work. Because you're going to get a lot of people involved to move to work towards the main strategies. So you need to convince people, and that's the problem. Because some people may have a different thinking from what the company is thinking, right? So you need to implement it well, and then at the end of the day, you will compare the result, the actual result versus the planned result or the budget result, which is stated in the strategy, the KPIs that was in the strategies. And at that time, if you think that something changed, you have to redo the whole thing all over again. For example, your actual profit is lower than your budget profit. Something is wrong. So you may have to go and do all this first step all over again. Then they do this again and do this again. What happens if the strategy don't meet the actual don't meet the actual don't meet the budget? Okay, then we also look at not only making the new strategy, we look at the past. How was the original strategy come out? Did we make a mistake? So that's called evaluating the strategy. Yeah, there are now two things. One is called evaluating the performance of the actual versus the budget, or actual versus the plan. That is called evaluating performance. The second thing is called evaluating the strategy. The initial strategies that we started, is it okay or not okay? Can we improve? So all this evaluation of the original strategy help you when you're making the new strategies in the future. Okay. So there's two evaluation here. Now there's a video, please look at it. The strategy management has three stages: formulation, implementation, and evaluation. So you can read from here. So it's exactly what I said just now. Now at any time, whether it's formulation, implementation, or evaluation, things suddenly change. For example, the economic climate has changed, the politics have changed, new law has come out, old laws have been taken away, competitors' action has come in, okay, or competitor must have left the market, or new competition has come in, new technology may have come in. So anytime you need to swing your strategies. The best time to swing strategy is when you know that it's not working. Something is wrong. You may have to swing strategies. So how do you know anything is wrong? You have to reevaluate again. Do your internal and external assessment. Okay? So redo again your mission and vision. So it's an ongoing job. In other words, strategic management is not saying you do on January, see the result in December, next January we do the new strategies. No, no, no. Strategic management is every time something comes up. That's why we have monthly profit and loss, monthly manager meeting. Okay, to find out what is going on, and if it's not, all right, we come up with this strategy. Okay. So evaluate whether an organization use of strategic management in model ensures both adaptability and focus in the dynamic market. So how do you evaluate whether the organization? Okay. Do we have a framework? Do we have this on the framework? The three stages one: formulation, uh, implementation, and evaluation. We have a framework. Now, how do we know we have a framework or not? You look at the organization calendar when they are supposed to have the making the strategy. When is the deadline for submission of the implementation? And then what is the date of implementation will be followed? And do we have a plan, like for example, weekly meeting to check on the progress? If we have such a thing, then the applies a framework. And if there's no such framework, so anybody can do whatever they want to do or don't do whatever they're supposed to do, and there's no feedback. Absence of framework makes your company but go in all sorts of directions, right? So it's not correct. Now, the second is, do we have a continuous assessment? Do meeting keep possible regularly? Is a management meeting keep on getting postponed? Was it a delay? All this that will hamper your assessment on a timely basis. Resource allocation. Will we allocate enough resource to achieve a specific objective of the company? If not enough resources are allocated, how are you supposed to expect the various organization unit able to uh, implement the goals effectively? You cannot do that. So you make sure that the resources are allocated effectively. Now, in strategy management, we're talking about the plan for the next 1 year or next 3 years or next 5 years. And you can identify when you need to have extra money. Say, for example, we need extra money for advertising, extra money for my machine. So that's a deadline time. So therefore, the finance department, people know ahead when they must bring in new money to buy the new rate. So that's top 1.3. I'd like to look at our 1.4 now. Now, 1.4 deals with strategic planning. Strategic planning is one of the pillar of strategic management. Okay, and in strategic planning, we have a simple agenda. You can see from here, the agenda you start with understanding the current state. Where are we now? So how do you understand where are we now? We use tools like SWOT, SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities. You can also have a cluster analysis. So you can either do two. I actually prefer this one much more. But anyway, political, economic, social, technology, legal, environmental analysis. So these are the external analysis. Okay, and you can either select one which one you want to use. Okay, but this one may be better because we got internal and external. SW is internal, OT, the body track is external, environment scanning. This one looks like a lot of external, not so much on the internal. So the agenda will be simple. We understand, we need to understand where we are now. Okay, where is the company now? Now you can do this one by product level. It's only to do by company level. It's actually not meant to do by company level. It's only to be done by product level. Okay. Next, where do we want to go? So where we are now, where we want to go, depending on all these things. So let's say, where are we now? We have good strength, very good electrical engineering, very weak strength, no good in mechanical engineering. So where do we want to go? 3 years from now, we better make products that is electrically strong. Okay, we can change the mission and the mission. So where now, where are we going? Depending on resources, depending on the strength and weakness and opportunity threats in the market. Okay, now here comes the risk. We know where we are now. We know where we want to go to achieve profitability. What will hinder us, stop us? So therefore, you must need to look at the risk. So you can have risk, like for example, sensitivity analysis is one type of risk. Okay, we want to look at values, culture. There may be a risk from us in achieving where we want to go. So understanding and doing the risk assessment help us to minimize. Now, what happens if here's too much? Then we better give up on this one. Okay. What do we need to do? Okay, so maybe you can set 3 or 4. Oh, sorry. Normally I say 2 or 3 strategic main goals, priorities. Okay, main goals. So it should be smart, achievable, measurable. I cannot remember some of them, but I think the goals must be achievable and measurable. Okay, these are important things. And then once we do that already, then we do action planning. How do we do our plan? What must be inside the plan? Who is supposed to be in charge of what? What time must start? What time must end? Okay, so a lot of companies use a simple thing like Gantt chart, okay, to show what they want to achieve and the time frame that they want to be started and ending. Okay, so this is the strategic planning and ending. So look at this carefully. Here, 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 and here are all strategy formulation. Remember three phase? Formulation, implementation, evaluation. This portion here is all the first portion, strategy formulation. And hopefully, by doing all this, your strategies are reasonable and achievable. No point to set a strategy if it's not achievable or it's not reasonable. Now, for example, you want to, you are making cars right now, okay, and you want to move to a flying car. You want to manufacture a flying car, right? It's a good plan. Nobody else is doing, but will the government allow you? So if the political people don't allow you, that's a lousy objective, right? Now, let's say now you're still making the car using petrol and you want to move to electrical car. Does the government allow? Yes. What advantage the government give some sort of aid package for buyers, or give you some grants, research grants, so you can do the innovation thing to transfer your company from petrol car to electric car. But then sometimes your resources say, hey, I don't have enough resources. We cannot make a full electric car. We only can make electric battery for electric cars. So all this helps you to identify what you should be doing. Okay. Now you can look at the video overview of the strategic planning process. Okay. So like I say, strategic planning is the first part, the strategy formulation part. Okay. They have assess, means internal, external environment, designing, then build, designing the strategy, and then you want to build the product, and then you try to manage the sales, actual versus budget. Okay, so that's what I mean. The first phase, second phase, third phase. Okay. Now, what do we get from here? Assess whether organization strategy management effectively aligns its resources and action with long-term objectives. How do you assess? So you see the answer at the bottom. No mind. Let's see. Assess whether an organization strategic planning effectively align its resources and action with long-term. You check. Do the company allocate its resources in the best way? Now, when you're talking about resources, I do not only just mean current resources that the company has. It also covers resources that you think you can get in the future. Okay? Like for example, just now you're going to make electric batteries for electric cars. Okay? So the resources is maybe you need some very good engineers. So we will now try to recruit the good engineers to be used in the near future. That is what it means by resource allocation. Or if you don't have enough money to make a factory for electric, therefore we need to now get money from the bank, okay, to get enough resources. Next one is action plan. Does the company have action plan? What to do? Who to do? When to do? When to start to do? When to complete to do? Okay, so if the company has got very good action plan, then it will be. Action plan can be seen very easily when you're doing a budget. When you're doing budgeting, you will allocate resources, allocate the timing, when to do what, how to do, and allocate, and also show its the KPIs, how profit you want. It's a very good part, okay, for action plan to make into progress. Now, action plan is a plan something happen, you need to change the plan. That's all. You cannot stick to the plan forever. Sometimes situation becomes so crazy that you have to change your plan. And sometimes can change very fast. You say, for example, last time COVID, when COVID comes in, all company plans are all outdated. Need to be replaced because COVID just comes in and it spread very fast. Next, performance monitoring. Look at how does a company monitor this performance of the people. Do they do it once a year, which is not good? Or do they monitor weekly, monthly, daily, or once a year? So you can see from there, the more often the monitoring is done, the more often corrective actions or counter plans come out because of the monitoring result. The faster it is, the more frequent it is, the better you have a chance to achieve your goals. Okay. Now we look at 1.5. Business ethics. Now, why does business ethics comes into play? See, I told you strategic management is about making profit. How you make profit? Is it ethically or non-ethically? I give you an example. You advertise the burger should be size. Actually, it's this size, then it's not ethical. But because you make the bigger, smaller size, the company make more profit. You can do it in the short run if people don't catch you. But in the long run, somebody will catch you. And then your company will get into trouble. Okay, consumer don't trust you, they stop buying from you. Your company can be overnight wiped out, just like that. Because it's bad business ethics. Okay, so you should do things. I know the word ethics. The normal one, the universal one, do not steal, do not kill, do not tell lies, that sort of things. Yeah, the normal business ethics that you have. So you should have good ethics. Now, how do you have good business ethics? Top level. Whether the board of directors definitely must create a code of conduct and a code of ethics. Make it in black and white. Give to everybody in the company so they know what they can do and what they cannot do. Okay, and then having that code of ethics, we have to monitor that people are actually following it. Are people following it? You may have a code, but nobody follow normally. So you must have rewards for those who follow and penalties for those people who do not follow the code of ethics or code of conduct. And now another thing about ethics is normally it comes from top. The board of directors or the CEO or the general managers, if they don't have good ethics, let's say for example, they come to work late, they go back early, they use the company car for their own personal use, they use the company's money for their own personal traveling, and so forth. If the top management is doing like that, there's a saying, monkey see, monkey do. The junior people will look at the top management, and top management are doing bad ethics. You think the junior people will also follow good ethics? No. The junior people will follow the senior people. If the senior people try to steal things from the company, most likely the junior people also steal. Why? Boss can steal, why I cannot steal? It's simple as that. So business ethics always comes from the top. They set the tone of business ethics from that company. Okay? So having said that, some example of business ethics. General one, honesty. Company should be honest. If the company product got some problem, it should be informed. You see the number of cars that have been withdrawn because of brake issue. So the car manufacturing company issue out, oh, our brakes is faulty, we have to bring it in. Come in for free replacement. Honesty. Social responsibility. The company is a member of society. And as such, the company must act according to the culture, the laws of the society, and also expect to be good citizen. What do you mean by good citizen? They should not harm the society. They should promote the society. They should do something that's good for the society. That's called social responsibility. Another thing is good behavior. Your company should not have bad behavior, right? Lying to the investors, lying to the customers. These are very bad behaviors. Okay. Follow laws. Now, what's the difference between law and ethics? Ethics cover a lot. Law only can cover some. Not all ethical things is codified into law. Why? Because sometimes ethics change. There are new ethics coming in, and the law sometimes is slow. That's all. Okay, and sometimes there's for example, the law cannot say, do not scold your employees very loud. They won't say. They won't have, there's no law that say that company, you talk to your people nicely, you're not scold them. No such law. But business ethics won't have. Don't scold your people very loud. Don't scold your people in front of other people. Those are not codified by law. So I think ethics is broader than law. Okay. Now, but at least the company can do is to follow the law. Now, what happens if the company don't follow law? Here comes the fine, and here comes the penalty. Go to jail. No, you say, who go to jail? A company is a company. Who go to jail? Board of directors, CEOs, CFO, those people who break the law in the name of the company, they go to jail. Never mislead, especially your suppliers and your customers. You tell your supplier, oh, okay, we're going to increase our production, get ready, make more machine. Then later on you say, oh, sorry, we're not buying from you. So the supplier will be having a lot of headache because they invested in the machine. Or you tell your employee, okay, sales are good. If sales are good, we give you 1 month bonus. Actually, you don't want to keep, but you just want to say like that so they work very hard. That's all. So this is called misleading. Now, when you do misleading, surely the truth will come out and they will not trust you anymore. And the last one is truth. Business ethics require you to tell the truth. Now, that's the problem. Sometimes business do not tell the full truth. They tell half truth or quarter truth or something like the truth, but they don't tell the full truth. Why? Well, sometimes they're scared. If you tell the whole thing, then customer very angry, the government very angry. Okay, external stakeholders all very angry with you. So sometimes they don't tell the truth, which is actually, how do I say? We don't want to put our dirty laundry outside too much. We try to hide some of the dirty laundry. This is just the nature of things. Okay, but it's actually part of the issue. Okay, we have a video here in the transcribe the importance of business ethics. We have to do what is considered right and wrong in society. That's the issue. Different society got different definition of right and wrong. Okay, that's a universal one. Like for example, no stealing. It's universal. But in some society, they tolerate. Let's say, for example, the mother is stealing because she got no money and the baby is hungry. So she goes to the market and steal the milk powder. Right? So that is very bad. So many society will say this very bad, mother go to jail. But some society, maybe I can say the French society, France, they are more tolerant. Okay? We call it the crime of passion in French. Crime of passion means there's a crime, but it was committed because of passion. So the penalty is not so serious. So the same situation, if the mother steals some milk powder in the supermarket, maybe In some countries, 5 years jail. In France, they understand, okay, maybe not 5 years jail, you do voluntary work for 1 week. So that is good and plus depending on culture. But the important thing is that you must know the culture that you're operating in. So you must know what is right and wrong with a certain culture. Then you will not make so much mistake. Don't make your customer very angry with you. Okay, so please be careful. Okay. Now, what are the drivers? Faulty oversight means what? Boss don't look at you. Your bad ethics arise because you know your boss not looking at you, so you can do whatever you want. Okay, that is one main cause why you are a bad person. Nobody looking at you. You know, so that in the classroom, the, the lecturer don't take attendance, you don't come to class. That's all. Pressure to meet performance target. The boss say must increase sales 10%. How to increase sales 10%? So sometimes we do bad ethics. We start to say competitor product not good. Even though competitor product very good, we say competitor product not good. That is because we want to meet our own performance target. But saying your competitor product no good is actually bad ethics. Okay? Now, or organization that prioritize profit over ethics. Now, I say organization important to make profit, but you must do it ethically as much as possible, right? So, I'll give you an example. There's a company that use child labor in Pakistan. Now, according to ethics, a child should not be working, should be in school studying. But the company wants to make profit because employing child is cheaper. Now, in that society in Pakistan, the father mother also don't earn much money. So the father mother expect the son, small children to be working. If you go to US, they say, no, 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 this is very bad. But in Pakistan, it's okay. At least the small children is contributing economically to the family. So what does that company do? The American company in Pakistan. He employ the child labor. But Saturday and Sunday, they bring the children back into the factory to do some studying. So that's how companies play around with the ethics issue. Okay. Evaluate whether a company's strategy is balance property and vertical over. So do they balance it? So let's look at how do you evaluate. So 1.5. Whether companies strategy balance profit with ethical responsibility. We look at the company thinking of profit versus ethics. If the company always keep on thinking about profit and sacrifice ethics, different. When you look at the annual report, the profit is growing very huge. And when the annual report, they say the carbon footprint is also increasing very huge. Something is not on. Okay. Sustainability practice. Do you implement sustainability? Now, in many countries, the annual report have a requirement to talk about sustainability. What the company has achieved to help the environment, to reduce the effect of climate change, reduce carbon footprint. That's all. It's expected that the director or the CEO in the annual report talk about sustainability practice by the company in the past and also expected to be done in the future. Community engagement. How do you support social initiative? We want to know, do you do it nicely? Okay, do the company does it nicely? Do they engage? Okay, a good example is like, for example, unemployed youths or unemployed undergraduates. What does the company going to do? Some company volunteer to train those unemployed people into more skillful workers. For example, you have a group of students, example, they just studying Bachelor of Arts, or they study Bachelor of History of Arts. You can employ this kind of people. You have a degree in arts history. So some company engage these people, these young people, they train them in skills, maybe IT skills, selling skills for marketing, or HR skill to put in HR department. They do such thing voluntarily. That is called community engagement. And then people know about it. And then they will support their company. Okay? Or maybe community got flood. Does the company come out? They give donation. Food lah, money lah, blankets lah, that sort of thing. That's called community engagement. Okay? We now look at 1.5 again under activity. Examine whether your organization integrate ethical consideration into strategic decision. Okay, now how do you know that? Okay, let's see whether their strategies, do they have something about, do they at least do not destroy the environment? Okay. Do they at least practice some sort of good business ethics or discourage bad ethics? If there's such a thing, maybe not so bad. Okay, so now we go to the next one, which is the last subtopic, which is global competition and strategic management. Now, we say strategic management is for all firms, don't care the size. Right? So you have small domestic company making in Malaysia selling. That's small. So that domestic company, what is the strategic management to make Malaysia selling Malaysia? Now you have another type of company, we call it a multinational company. A multinational company can be made in Malaysia, the product sell everywhere in the world. That's called a multinational company. What is a global company? A global company is to make their product everywhere in the world and sell everywhere in the world. So now you see the scale is different. Domestic scale is smaller than multinational, and multinational scale is smaller than global. And when you look at it, you will not understand the complexity. Domestic company only have to worry about, for example, the political situation in Malaysia. Global have to worry about global tension, geopolitical tensions, and have to do strategic management appropriately. Because the scope is different. Okay, so please remember what you mean by domestic multinational. And many people get confused that talk multinational is the same as it's not. Okay, it's not. Again, multinational, you make Malaysia yourself only. Therefore, when you're making Malaysia only follow the wrong. You're making that. But if you're making all over the world, different laws. Every country is different laws for production. So let's look at it, the globalization. Why do we want to do it? Why do companies want to do it? Let's look at the first one. What does benefit the firm? Profit opportunity. Let's say, for example, you're making in Malaysia. We never worked it. How many people are there in Malaysia? 38 million? So you cannot sell to 38 million. But if you are going global, over maybe got 8 billion population. So you're selling to 8 billion versus of 35 million. So there's a potential for profit versus selling more. First one, increased resource utilization. Sometimes we have one factory. Malaysian market is so small, we just run one shift. 8 to 5. But because we're selling overseas, there will be bigger demand. So our factory no need to run from 8 to 5. We run from 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Therefore, the machine is used very much more frequent. So that is called utilization of resources, especially machine. Building usage, the land usage. You're using more of your resources, which is better. Growth prospect. Malaysian population maybe is getting older. If you have an older population, and if you are selling, for example, you're selling, let's say you're selling cars. In Japan, they are growing population. Lesser and lesser babies are being born. Lesser toys will be died in Japan. But if you're selling to the world, other part of the world, population going up, for example, Indonesia, they have a young population. Maybe they still want to buy toys. So therefore, by going multinational, the firm can have a chance to sell more. Okay, growth prospect, decrease competition. Decrease competition is when we go global, our market becomes more. We don't have to worry about so fierce competition in Malaysia. Now in Malaysia, maybe competition very fierce. Let's say you're making mineral water, many people are making. But let's say, for example, you go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, not many people making mineral water. So therefore, it decreases competition. Maybe you can survive in Saudi Arabia. Also, improve business relation. When you're selling outside a country, you become more broad-minded because you are dealing with many types of customers. So you become broad. Your thinking becomes your thinking. You are not a small frog in a small pond. You will become a big fish in the ocean. Okay, that's what it means. Now, benefits to the country. First is foreign exchange. When you export things, Malaysia give it to you. Then you spend the money in Malaysia. So Malaysian government can export. Because when you export, let's say you export to Thailand. Thailand people buy your product. So Thailand, you make profit. You send the money profit back from Thailand to Malaysia, Malaysia government happy. Because if they get money in Malaysia, Malaysia can grow. Okay. Second one, efficient resource utilization is like what I said just now, the same one, the machine one. Growth prospect is the same thing, improve standard of living. When you're selling to more people, you have more profit, therefore you can have better wages for your employees, so they have improved their living standard. Okay. So we now look at this video, why Starbucks failed. Now, I think most of you know Starbucks. Very big company. They got 28,000 shops in the world. 28,000 shops. Very big company. You think they don't do strategic investment? Of course they do. So why they fail when they go to Australia? You think that they don't do strategic management before they go to Australia? Of course they do fail. Why do they fail? They fail because not all strategic management is done. Okay. That's the issue. You may do strategic management, but do it wrongly. Wrongly. You fail. So that's why, can you remember the word strategy evaluation? Formulation, implementation, evaluation. That is the mistake. When you fail, when you evaluate your past strategy, then you know where you fail. Then you can now try to improve in making strategy in the future. The basic reason why they fail, even though they do strategy management, is because of four reasons. They overexpand. Too many stores too quickly. Resources run out. Wrong product. Every country is different. Australia also is a coffee drinking country. Why do they like Starbucks? Too sweet. Not good for Australian taste. We don't like too sweet. Okay? More expensive. Starbucks in Australia is more expensive than the common coffee seller. Australia. Okay, high prices, too expensive. Lack of understanding of local culture. In Australia, they go there, you drink coffee, you meet each other. We go Starbucks here, especially one on the phone. Okay, play with the phone on the laptop you use on the laptop. Not much talking. Now think carefully. Why Starbucks is successful in Malaysia, and Starbucks is not successful in Australia? Starbucks headquarters in US also do strategic management for these two countries. I think the best answer is when they do the internal and external assessment, environment scanning, they scan only the Australia. So their objective was wrong. If the objective was wrong, the implementation will be wrong. And the evaluation will show you all the bad points that the actual cannot achieve. What's the difference between Australia, Starbucks, and Malaysian Starbucks? They are different. Even though Starbucks is in different countries, different political, different economical, different sociology. Technology is the same. Because Starbucks brings the same technology in Malaysia too, and also same technology in Australia. But it's different. The political or maybe the economical, most likely, or the social is different. Okay, so do not just say that I'm doing strategic management, I will always be successful. It depends whether the strategic management process was done correctly. It depends. Out of the 20 or 30 objectives come out whether it's correct. It depends on the 20, 30, you go to 2 or 3 objectives, main objective, you select correctly. Then it depends whether you implement it correctly. That's all. Okay. So do not just think doing strategic management it should be okay. If your strategic management is wrong, it's worse than okay. Okay. Let's come. They make a comeback already. So assess whether organizational strategic management effectively adapt to global. How do you know whether the strategy is good globally? How do you know? Market analysis. Does the company check the market analysis? Do they check the market? How do you know? Do they check the market analysis? Annual report. The CEO or the chairman of board was mentioned something. Okay. Is the strategy flexible enough to handle? Okay. Now, can you adjust the price easily in countries? So maybe one country you need to adjust the price very frequently, especially if you are in China, because there's a lot of competitor. The price cutting is very terrible. So can you adjust your price strategy effectively? Okay. Next one, collaboration. How do you collaborate? Now, when you're going overseas, you can set up your company overseas. They are already owned by you. Or you can have a joint venture with our local people in the country. Or you can have a franchise, a franchisor, franchisee arrangement. Or you do nothing. You just give them a technical know-how and you collect royalty. So there are many ways. You want to run a business, it's a joint venture, it's a franchising business. A lot dependent on politics and the social and economic. Let's say, for example, you are making doing the boat camp. Do you set up your own factory in Thailand? Do you have your own marketing people in Thailand? Or maybe you use one of the existing supply chain in Thailand to do it. Okay, it can be done whichever way, but make sure when you do it strategically. Okay. Now these are the key terms, and these are the references. As far as references is concerned, if you have a chance, go and look at this book, David and David. Okay, lesson. And okay. Yeah, under 1.6, just one activity also. You develop a strategic approach for an organization. Okay, some of you may not be able to do that. So you have to develop it yourself just as an exercise. So that's the thing, chapter 6, and that's a summary. And look at it. So now there's a closing case, the Coca-Cola global strategy. How does Coca-Cola do this? Global. Okay. And there's 3 questions here. You don't have to answer in black and white and send to me. The thing is that I want you to read the case study above and then think about it using these 3 questions. This is to train you, okay, on understanding strategic management. And now you also notice that in the check question and also the answer, we always start with the word evaluate. Evaluate something. Evaluate the significance. Evaluate the efficacy. Okay. What else? Evaluate whether an organization use. Sometimes we have the word assess. Assess, evaluate. And 4. 5 is evaluate. 6 is assess. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to help you to develop a mind. So we are now looking at the nature of strategic. I want to trigger your mind. To trigger your mind, I want to teach you to do evaluation. Evaluate this company is doing that correctly. Evaluate how they should be doing, on what terms should we be evaluating, what are the topics that we evaluating, what level is the right. This will help you to improve the understanding of this subject. And also it helps you to develop your skills. When you go higher management, you need skills. And one of the best skills is able to evaluate the situation. Okay, so that's why all this check question is based on evaluation. Okay, and I think that's about all. These are some of the key terms. The key terms is look at it and then maybe figure your mind what is it about. A strategic management module, what is it? Okay, strategic planning, what is it? Okay, so trigger and all this is words is come from the earlier part. Okay, and this is the reference. So we are finished with chapter 1. We will now go to chapter 2. Okay, we will take maybe about 1 minute break. Okay, and then we'll come back. Okay, so take a 1 minute break, and we'll come back. Okay, Vishnu, welcome back. We are now going to do a topic two, which is called the business vision. Okay, so under here we have five categories: vision versus mission, importance of it, characteristic of it, components of it, and writing and evaluating it. Okay, so we'll go now. So this is second class. A company mission and vision guide its overall strategy. Okay, I think on the outset, we need to explain what is the mission and what is the vision. Now, a vision statement, you can see it in many companies, they have a certain statement, okay, that say what they want to do. Okay? Looks to the future. So what it aims to go, okay, so this is the vision. It's looking at what they want to do in the future or what they want to achieve in the future. Okay? While the mission is different, the purpose of the business and what it does today. So mission is the reason for your existence. Mission M. Why you exist? Why does Coca-Cola exist? To supply drinks. But some company got very funny mission to bring joy to the world. Like Disneyland, the mission is to bring joy to the world. What about their vision? Coca-Cola vision maybe I want to kill Pepsi now in 10 years time, or I want to increase sales, or I want to increase market share by a certain percentage. That is what they want to do in the future. Okay? So that's the difference. Mission comes first. A mission comes first or the vision comes first. Sometimes mission comes first, vision follow. Sometimes vision comes first, mission follow. Okay, let's say for example, an established company, Coca-Cola, their mission comes first, and their end comes first to provide soft drinks is their mission. What is their vision? Every 5 years, one new soft drink. Okay? If you're an entrepreneur, just started. Oh, my mission is to make flying cars. So my mission is to make flying cars for better logistic or transportation. What's the mission? Make flying cars. What's the vision? Within 5 years, car come up for sale. So it's depending on the situation. So sometimes the mission comes first, sometimes the vision comes first. It doesn't matter. As long as it works, that's all only. Okay? The vision look at long-term aspiration, what they do in the future. Vision highlights what it does and why it exists. So like I say, so vision is always, can you say what vision? Always look long-term. Okay? So M, vision, what business are we in right now? So what you're doing right now and your vision may be different. Right now, you may be selling Coca-Cola. That's your vision. Your vision is next time people all worry about sugar. So maybe your vision next time is no need to do soft drinks anymore. So it can be like that, especially when your environment scanning, internal, external, stop you from selling Coca-Cola in the future. You need to change your vision to become a sugar-free drink, and therefore your vision is different. If the vision for Coca-Cola is to supply sugar-free drink, then the mission is different. It's no more supply Coca-Cola. Maybe the mission is to promote healthy living. So it's changed. Okay? So there's a linking of the mission and vision with the organization structure, strategic plan. Now, vision comes first. Vision, then the plan, or the organization plan comes first, then it affects the change of vision. Yeah, it can be both ways. There's no fixed way that the vision comes first, then we talk about the plans. No. Sometimes the plan comes first and it affects and change the mission and vision. Okay. And how come this can be like that? Because your internal external assessment prove that the current vision and your vision need to be changed. Okay, need to be changed. So let's say, for example, can you remember this Nokia handphone? So the mission is to make telecommunication on the go. What is the vision? Make more and more handphones. Conquer one continent to another continent with deadlines. But the strategic management was wrong. Because now people are not only looking at handphones. What are they looking at? They're looking at smartphones. And if you're looking at smartphones, therefore, the strategic plan is different. And if the strategic plan is different, you need to change their, they need to change their plan, and therefore ultimately will change the mission. Okay, that's the issue. Okay. Just wait a while. I got an important message, so I need to reply it now. I'm sorry. Just wait a while. Okay. So now we just carry on a little bit. Okay, let's look at Coca-Cola mission and vision. Their vision inspiring each other to be the best we can by providing a great place to work. Really unclear. And vision to refresh the world in mind and body and spirit, inspire more. I'll just a little bit more clear. Now, not because the vision is not so clear. I think one of the reasons is because Coca-Cola is selling everywhere, every country. And because it's selling in every country, yeah, okay, because they're operating everywhere, so everywhere maybe they will have vision by country. Okay, okay, you look, okay, understand? Okay, so that's why. So let's look at the video on Coca-Cola vision. You can see from this, but I transcribe it now. Okay, refresh the word in spirit, inspire each other. Okay, so the business plays a high importance in improving people's life in community. Okay, so if you look at it, big companies like Coca-Cola, their mission is very broad in scope. Okay, because by its nature, they are very big company. Okay? So we look at another video. What's the difference between mission and vision? Okay, so this is the video and it's a subscribe. A mission is a promise of an effect that another is producing for its customer. What business are you doing right now? That's a mission. A vision is a clear picture of fascinating, jointly aspire and feasible. Therefore, the vision must be reasonable, must be achievable. That's why I say. Okay. So, one, evaluate whether clear mission and vision statement enhance the organization's ability to stay focused. Okay. So let's look at the answer. Subjective. Alignment. Are they moving the same direction? Okay. Are the people all working in the same direction? Or the employees? If they are not, it can be a problem. Effective communication. Therefore, your vision statement should be not so long. You don't want to write 10 pages on vision and vision. But neither should it be too short. It must be very important to be clear. Okay, clear. And it can serve as an employee motivation. Okay, serve as an employee motivation. Now, what activity I want you to do? Okay. The activity I want you to do is think about it. Make a list of how an organization vision statement can be help guide decision making, communicate. Then this all this statement contribute to success. Okay, what it means is that I want you to go to look at your company, look at your company vision. Does it help in making decision? If it doesn't help, then maybe not so good. Okay. I'll tell you what, we'll stop right now. I will see you again in the next class. Okay, I think we stop at 2.2, so we'll continue with 2.3. Okay. Yeah, hang on. Here, right? I will stop sharing first, and then I will stop tampering. Tamper, okay? So stop recording. Okay, stop.